So I'm making this video because I genuinely know what it feels like to feel genuinely like crap and like I have no power in my life. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to feel like the world's against you and there's this whole system that wants to push you down and keep you down. And while some of these perspectives could potentially have some validity to them based on what information you've seen and what you may or may not know, something that I've learned because I've been absolutely blessed in my life and attracted the perfect teachers at the time that I needed them. I learned something that gives me my power back in every situation, and I've used it to basically be the absolute master of my life. So it doesn't matter if there even is in reality some kind of system trying to keep me down. I'm so powerful, they have no power over me. So what I'd like to do in this video is share with you. It's not something I've come up with, and I want to be clear about that. I've been really lucky in my life to attract amazing teachers that came along and helped me wake up in my life. And I genuinely hope that today I can just be part of that chain reaction and maybe impart some of their wisdom into your life to it. I know it's absolutely changed mine for the better. So the first thing to understand is that we need to take responsibility in our lives. Now, I'm not talking about some kind of heavy responsibility. I'm actually talking about a certain realization of responsibility and what it really means that actually lightens your load. It actually takes the weight of the world off your shoulders, and it gives you power and makes you light and free and high vibe. And it's this. I'll give you a very simple example. Let's go ahead and say that a bully at school teases you and makes you feel bad. Now, I'm not saying excuse that behavior or be willing to allow people to treat you like crap in your life. But what we want to do is take responsibility in this decision. So when we go home and we're crying and we feel our feelings are hurt, instead of saying, this person hurt my feelings, this person is so mean and I can't have a good time at school because of them. Notice how what we're doing is we're saying this person, we're putting our focus on them. So when we do that, we're giving them our power. And because of the mechanics of reality and the way manifestation works, which I talk about in other videos, I'm not going to go into that here. You could check out my homepage, classes I make, whatever. It's tagged in the description if you feel called. Essentially, because we're creating our reality, what we're actually doing is day by day, we'll see this person become an even bigger problem in our lives. They'll be an even bigger bully. And it'll become even more true that we can't feel good at school. So notice we're saying this person is doing this and we're giving them the power. The moment we do this and we put the attention on ourselves, I'm the one who feels hurt. It's not really the bully that's bothering us. It's the fact that we can't stop thinking about what they said and identifying with it that bothers us. So what happens then? We realize I need to have better control of my thoughts. And you might be led to meditation. And being led to that meditation leads you to awakening, which leads you to your power, which leads you to manifestation, which leads you to just a few years later in your life being extraordinarily successful and happy. So isn't it interesting how that bully, in two different realities, that bully could become a huge problem for us, or they could become the best gift that's ever been given to us because they lead us to awakening. Or we could choose to, oh, woe is me, and put our focus on them being the thing that's wrong in the world. This bully is the thing that's wrong, and so they become bigger and bigger. But we take our power back when we take responsibility and says, you know, what's wrong is that I'm giving my power to them. What's wrong is that I am getting my feelings hurt by something that when I look at it realistically, shouldn't have the power to hurt my feelings. So we wake up. We take our power back. All right, let's use another example because I know you guys are highly intelligent and I know that if you're hearing this video, you already know this to your core. You probably already fundamentally realize this. Taking responsibility in our lives gives us power and it makes us become the bigger entity. All right, let's look at another thing that I was recently exposed to, and it's certain ideas about money that hold people back. Now, I want to open with this. A lot of people say that money isn't spiritual. Just for the sake of this conversation and helping you to see how you take responsibility is what the real key is, all right? So I know some of the things I may say in this video as examples may be triggering, But remember, just like a bully who triggers you, or just like some system that triggers you, remember that that triggering is your opportunity to become more powerful and awake, okay? So I say that money's not spiritual, right? It's not spiritual. But what I'm really doing is I'm giving my power away to money. What if instead I take my perspective, I put it on myself and I say, well, I am all that is. I am the universe. And I incarnated here on purpose, that's clear, into this system. Now, is there perhaps a better system that could come about in our reality that gives more people more power in their lives, that aims to educate people on their power rather than benefit from them not knowing about their power? All right, I'm speaking to you. I'm trying to be very specific and clear about this, all right? Is it possible for a better system to exist? Absolutely. And when I look within myself, I feel that it's highly likely that that system comes about in this world. But when I sit around and I complain that the system's unfair and that it's some slave system, when I sit here and complain and whine about it, what happens? Years go by and the system becomes even more powerful because you're not actually doing anything about it. You're not taking responsibility in your life. When you say, you know what? Maybe instead of being somebody who complains about everything being unfair, I'm going to choose to be one of the people who stands up and actually does great work in my life to help actually be the change I'm complaining I want someone else to bring me. So instead of waiting for somebody else to rescue us, we realize we are the hero. We're Superman. We are Spider-Man. We are the solution to every problem in the world. Enlightenment is the ability to wake up in this moment and realize that. Enlightenment is the ability to realize that everything you've been looking for is you. You stand up. You take action. You be the change, right? Now let's look at it from this perspective too, because I want to keep expanding on this to help you see it. Everything is spiritual in life. All the problems, all the challenges, even the system, and everything that happens is spiritual. There is nothing that is not spiritual. It's a huge spiritual manifestation. Now, I was highly depressed in my life for a long time. That depression led me to one day ask the question, how do I allow happiness into my life? And it woke me up, right? Being bullied and teased may be a hard experience, but it leads you to more resilience in your life and realizing how to live a life where you're not basing your identity based on what other people say you are. That's empowering, right? Or how about, for example, a toxic situation like this, for example, a negative health problem comes up in your life. But what does that negative health problem lead to? You expanding your awareness about what health is and how to achieve it, eating better, being in less stress, right? So all negative things in life actually lead to greater awareness. So is it possible that this entire experience we're in is so spiritual and nothing is separate from it, that even the things that seem unspiritual are actually what's leading to an even greater sense of spirituality in our reality? That a system that keeps people down, for example, theoretically, if that system were to exist, I want to be careful about how I put ideas out there for you guys. If there was such a system that keeps people down, look at the bigger picture. That very system that keeps people down is actually the system that's leading to people waking up and creating a system that lifts people up instead. So here's what I'm suggesting. If we want our power back in our life, it's time to stop blaming others and other situations. And it's time to start taking an expanded awareness as to how we can actually be in power in our lives. And we do that by putting the focus on ourselves. I had a problem with money for a long time in my spiritual journey. I had a very big problem with it. But in that reality, I was also someone that wanted to just live in my car, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with, and just sit around and not do anything all day. I wanted to just sit there and just be. That's how I looked at it at that point. I wanted to just be and just live with nature. And I didn't think it was fair that I had to work for food or for things like that. I thought it should just be given to me. Now, that's what that reality looked like. That was my belief system. Now I'm living in a reality where I actually have money, I can feed myself, And I actually have a voice too, so I can actually be part of the system changing. I am now not someone who's sitting around complaining about the way things are. I am now someone who's taken power for myself because I'm the one who chose to give it to me. And now I'm someone that's going to be that change in the world, right? So what's the difference between my perspective about money now versus how it was then? Well, my new perspective about money is one that helps me to live my life in an empowering way. Here's the difference. I don't think about money at all today. I truly don't. I do not think about money. I do not care about money. My whole life is based on happiness now in this moment and sharing that happiness with others. And it manifests in different ways, like making courses, writing a book, making videos, right? Making new music, things like this. Now, what's interesting is that I seem to be a magnet for money all of a sudden, and it just wants to come to me. I was complaining and thinking about money all the time in the reality where I didn't have it. I want to make this clear. In the reality where I didn't have money and felt like the world was against me, I was the one sitting there and thinking about money all day. I was giving my focus and my power to money. And so it became a bigger problem. I now live in a reality where I don't think about money at all, and I'm not giving it any power, and here it is, surrounding me in my life. Is it possible that when we sit around and complain about others who make money or feel jealous about them or say that the system is a failed system, is it possible that what we're actually experiencing is our own psychoschematic projection? Is it possible that what we're actually doing is we haven't woken up yet and realized how powerful we are? And we are still in a state of choosing to believe that it's because of someone else or because of something else. It never is. It's only ever because of you. One day I woke up in my life and I decided to stop caring and thinking about money. And the interesting thing is I learned about myself, I don't actually want to just sit around and not do anything all day. I love contributing. I'm passionate about this. I'm so passionate about what I do. My life is flooded with happiness and joy and a sense of purpose and clarity now, and money just comes. So maybe you don't actually want to sit around and complain and feel like the world and the system and things are against you. Maybe that's what you are actually unhappy about, is your own way of thinking. Maybe it's not the system that's oppressing you. Maybe it's your own thoughts that are oppressing you. Maybe it's time to just shift your perspective and adopt new beliefs that serve you better. Like money is something that just comes to me when I'm adding value to the world, when I'm adding value to the community, when I'm actually showing up and doing something that benefits someone else other than myself. Money is just an exchange. Money is just a symbol that manifests in reality for me because I'm living selflessly. That's what it's like for me. When I was trying to think how to get all this stuff for myself, I was actually living selfishly and it didn't experience power in my life. So what we need to do is start taking responsibility. In my personal opinion, this has changed my life. Take responsibility. If you're not happy, it's not because of anything else that's happening. And if there's something in your life that causes you to feel angry or agitated or causes you to feel unhappy, you are being given a gift by the universe, by you. You are giving that to yourself. You're calling yourself to take a look at that. Why does this bother me? You know, money bothered me before in my life because I felt like it was the reason for unconsciousness in our planet. I felt like the whole world is being controlled by people who have huge amounts of money. Now, is there some validity and reality to the fact that people who have massive amount of monies own a lot of big companies, and those big companies are who fund government officials, and the government officials are the ones who say, what are the new laws? Yes, there is this whole chain of events, all right? But what's stopping you? I'm genuinely asking you, what's stopping you from becoming someone who runs for government? What's stopping you from being somebody who makes better laws? What's stopping you from becoming one of those big entities who has so much money that you're able to actually help steer the planet in the direction of a clearer system, right? What's stopping you? What's stopping you is you sitting around and complaining about the way things are. That's what's stopping you. It's the only thing stopping you, all right? Put yourself in a position of actually being the change that you want to see in the world, and don't whine so much. And I know that some of the things I said in this might be a little bit triggering, but realize there are a lot of things happening in the world around us that may or may not be true. I'm not saying certain things are true and certain things aren't. What I am saying that I've discovered is absolutely true, period, across the board, is somebody who sits around and complains does not experience power in their lives, and somebody who stands up and works with what they've been given and uses the tools that are here right now seems to really win at life. Just a suggestion, just a realization to maybe pull the camera back in our lives a little bit and see, are we being a whiny baby or are we being a superhero? What would you rather be? I mean, the choice is yours. It's none of my business to tell you what to continue doing in your life. But people who are just waiting for handouts or waiting for somebody else to change the world aren't going to see it happen. Because I've got news for you. You are the entire reality. I am you speaking to yourself right now. The government is you. That bully at school is you. The money is you. Anything that you experience in the world that you see as unconscious, it's your own unconsciousness within you manifesting externally. The more I wake up, the more I see the world wake up around me. Haven't you seen that too? So maybe it's time to stop pushing the idea that somebody else is making you feel bad, somebody else is in control of you, something else that somebody's doing in the sky is poisoning our world. Maybe it's time to start realizing, that's me up there. That's me in that system. That's me over there. I'm the one teasing that person at school. I'm the one making these laws. And it's all just based on unconsciousness and fear. How do we cut through that unconsciousness and fear? We take responsibility, we be the change that we've actually been looking for, and we stop complaining. All right? I started looking at the system as, I could stand up and I could do some work and I could become a highly successful person in my life because the system in place allows me to do that. It's not keeping me down. It's just inviting me to take part in it or sit around and complain. So I stood up and decided to take part in it, and now I'm winning in these specific categories I'm speaking about in my life. You could do that too. You really could. It's just, who do you want to be in your life? You know, I mean, it's your choice. You create yourself. And I'm telling you from experience, sitting around feeling sorry for myself, thinking that reality is messed up and things should be different, led me to experience toxic year after year in my life of complaining and not succeeding and fundamentally just not being happy. And then I woke up one day and said, I'm not going to be a whiny baby anymore. I'm going to stand up and actually work towards the reality I want. And boom. That could be you. It literally could be you. You have what it takes, and you have everything you need right now in this moment to take charge of your life. Seriously. And if you want to hear more stuff like this to help you tune into it, I mean, I make 3 videos every single week for free. All right, so the excuse of, how am I supposed to take a class that teaches me how to make money if I don't have money? There's free content. I'm making it. Tons of people are making it. There's podcasts. And I truly believe that you should not be ashamed to make money doing what you love and doing good work in this world. And I do believe that in our lifetime, we will see the system shift in a way that helps lift other confused people up more quickly, rather than maybe creating some cloud of illusion that confuses them, all right? But you and I are the solution. You and I are what's going to be that change. So let's take our power back and let's go out in the world and be it. Truly. And if you want to learn more specifics about this, I have classes, courses, live events, all kinds of things. Lots is in the works. So check the link in this description that leads to my courses. Much love to you guys, and I'll see you for the next video. You really are so awesome. See you soon.